Welcome to the Eagle Eye Podcast, the #1 show to bring you all things Club America and English.
Oh, what a strike! Club America!
Your hosts for today are Ivan Pineda, Cristian Rosendo, Alexis Juarez, and everyone's favorite cowboy, Dylan Jimenez. Go! Now let's hit the field and start the show.
America!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Eagle Eye Podcast. The long-awaited hiatus is over. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back to talk all things Las Águilas del América. We're here to preview the upcoming match against Pumas, as we know, as they will be our rivals for the Liguilla. And as always, joining me today is my New York co-host, none other than Cristian Rosendo and Alexis Juarez, a.k.a. AJ, a.k.a. Marcel Flores. How are we tonight, gentlemen?
Feeling good, Ivan. Happy to be back. Feels like forever since we last done a podcast. So I'm very excited to talk about America. Today starts the road to our 14th title, which not many Americanistas believe we will conquer or lift. But I think me and Brian are the only optimistic ones here. So we're gonna try to get everyone hyped up and make everyone believe that we will win the league this year.
Well, I don't see why, and anyone besides Brian should be optimistic with the way things have been going for us in the sporting world. But we'll see. AJ, how are you doing, my man?
I'm good. Came back from winning a title, the Revelations Cup. You know how it is, scoring goals out here, Aquaback celebrations, and here I am, ready to talk everything Club America. And finally, I'm actually happy to be back to recording a podcast episode. See what kind of funny moments we capture live this time.
Definitely, absolutely, and you're coming off fresh from meeting Raul Jimenez as well. So you've had quite the extensive week, haven't you, AJ? So glad to hear that. And of course, you guys already mentioned as to who our surprise guest is returning, none other than the man himself, who has continuously been swapping faces on Twitter, left, right, and center since the international break was over. It is none other than the man himself, Brian. How are you, my man?
Doing pretty good. Just ready for America, and then I'm gonna stuff my face for Thanksgiving, and hopefully look like my face app, extra big face.
Yeah,
actually not that big. Let's just be that happy.
That's all we could ever ask for.
Yeah, just be happy.
All we could ever ask for. Obviously, you mentioned it right, gentlemen. We have Thanksgiving here. A little happy or a little disappointed that we didn't get the Thanksgiving game, Christian?
A little disappointed. I wish we had a Thanksgiving game. I think it would have been a nice treat after indulging in whatever is going to be available that evening. But I guess once it's whatever. I'm just happy. I'm just glad America is back. And especially in the Liguilla match.
Alrighty then, let's talk about that then, since that is the big headline. Obviously, the repechajes are done and dusted. As soon as Pumas won their match against Toluca, you knew that that officially would be our rivals. So, gentlemen, I know you guys were very much keen on these matches. Christian, you specifically, as well as Brian. I see you guys had quite the bets going this weekend in regards to that aspect. I know you guys didn't really make your money, but how did you guys feel coming out after that Toluca Pumas game? Were you guys content? I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying that this could have been probably the best matchup for America.
Yeah, I mean, Pumas has been in a pretty good form, but America's had some time off, and I think that, like we were saying last time, I think if they, with the season over and kind of like a fresh start here for for the title, a run for the title, like I'm optimistic that they'll get rid of that like boring aspect of their game, and there'll be something a lot more emotion. And I think they want a team like Pumas, even though they have a good form. I think that they feel confident against a team like that.
Yeah, I mean, one would hope so, right? And Christian, we've been saying that for the past 2 seasons, this repechaje, finishing straight directly to Liga has been a little bit of a curse rather than a blessing for America. Can it finally be the other way around for us this time?
You would sure hope so, right? I'm sure everyone's aware Pumas has been playing quite well actually in their run of form right now in America. Not so hot. So and just judging by that, doesn't seem like it's going to be an easy match. And anyone who thinks it is going to be an easy match, just completely wrong. This is going to be probably one of the tougher matches in out of the 4 games that are left. So America has to come out in tip-top shape, focus at 110%, and go after it in the first game, because we need an advantage going to the Azteca on Saturday. We can't walk away there. At least we need at least a goal in Seoul on Wednesday night, and I think that needs to be top priority for Solari and his men. But nonetheless, this won't be an easy matchup.
Definitely, and goals are a little something we're short on, AJ, recently, right? Going off a 0-0 draw against Monterrey being the last result we had officially. I know we had a couple of friendly games in between the break. But how are you feeling, AJ? It's a Clásico Capitolino. Obviously, we've been here before. This is nothing new to us. Your take on getting Pumas?
I mean, I feel like as every other Americanista has said on Twitter, this is probably the best matchup we could have possibly gotten. I mean, hey, you can never go wrong with the Clásico Capitalino in the quarterfinals. Get Americanistas really hyped to start the Liguilla off with the Clásico and Beret against Pumas. We did beat them in the season, but as Brian mentioned, that they are on a bit of a hot streak. I mean, their last regular season game, goal scoring thriller against Cruz Azul 4-3, and then you see what against Toluca. That long shot from Leo Lopez, and then the goal just against Toluca in the second match. Pumas in this one, they're gonna definitely be giving it their all against America and Social America as well. Despite us being on a bit of a goal drought, when it's Liguilla, it's a whole completely different season. It feels like a different season when you're in Liguilla. Two completely different things compare from the regular season to the playoffs.
Chris saying the same thing. The best outcome was facing Pumas. He said, the player for player, the only way I see us losing is if we underestimate Pumas, who under Solari I highly doubt happens. Just my opinion. And I think all eyes are going to be kind of directed to Solari, right? We saw what happened against Pachuca, and we expect a bounce back, at least in the sense of finally being able to do the right thing. And Christian, you mentioned it perfectly. You need a goal away from Seoul, but I would argue that you need a result. And I would say that a 1-0 victory walking away out of there is ideal. But, I mean, a 1-1 draw wouldn't be too bad either. Now, don't forget, you're not counting so much on the away goal rule, right? That's been eliminated. You no longer have that. So now you have to think this is more about the results and more about carrying some confidence. Now, if you do end up going back to the Azteca and you draw, then fortunately for you, you finish in first place, so you can advance in that sense. But again, not ideal for America. So will be interesting to see how Solari plants this side. Obviously, we have a little bit of injuries, and Christian, you'll get us up to date with everything going on in around Coapa in just a second. But it's important to start off on the right foot against Pumas on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens. All right, Christian, what are the updates? Who is out? Who is going to be back? Is Leo Suarez going to be playing with us anytime soon? Because I see that he was playing against Atlante. What's going on?
Okay, so we'll start off with the biggest news of them all. Pedro Aquino obviously will not be with us for the entire Liguilla, as he has picked up a second injury. People thought that it was the same injury that he had prior to before he went to the national team for Peru, but it was not. It's a completely different injury. So whether you want to blame it on Aquino, we blame it on Peru, it doesn't matter. The point is, we're not going to have him for Liguilla. So is that a big goal for us? I mean, judging by the last games we had without him,
just give it, just end the pain. No one can cover that spot.
And so, like, judging by the last games, it seems like we did miss him, right? Thankfully for us, though, a player was recovered. Probably not for me at 100% just yet, but Santi Naveda will be available at Solari's disposal. And for me, it has to be him to start these games. I don't think I rely on Mario Osuna or Madrigal.
Who's also out, by the way.
Who's also out, actually, so you can't even depend on him, right? So it's you got no other choice, right? You got to play Naveda. I'm not too worried that Naveda won't respond. It's just right now the lack of game time in that kind of a setting is a little worrying to me. And will probably be his only downfall. But I'm sure the kid knows what's at stake, and given the call, I'm sure that he'll adapt as soon as possible. But we need someone desperately in that spot. And for me right now, I see him as the best option. I don't know what you gentlemen agree or disagree.
Well, look, I mean, Chris is saying let's just hope Naveda doesn't come back from injury like Bruno did, right? But yeah, it's a big ask for a kid. Brian, you know this better than anyone else. This is a big ask, a big task to be like, hey, you were giving you the keys to the midfield after you just came back off injury with very little game time to get you back out there. I mean, it's literally a make or break situation.
In the two friendlies, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, he did, but it's a friendly. You know those things don't matter.
I completely understand. You can't compare a friendly against Atlanta and a quarterfinal match against Pumas. Definitely don't compare the two. But it's nice to see that Solari does have him in mind, and I'm sure we'll see him feature in this matchup, whether it be in Wednesday or Saturday. But we're gonna see him play.
Brian, your take on Naveda?
Yeah, I mean, the number one factor would be rust. And that's just what you're going to have to expect a little bit. However, the other side is when you're an up-and-coming player like him, these are the opportunities you don't want a player to get hurt, but the opportunity to be like, I'm next man up. Mm-hmm. And then what better way to do it than against a rival in a really important setting. So I have faith in him. I do expect a little rusty. Maybe there's just going to be a little bit of a chemistry issue at first, but I think he has the ability to play through that, and he's a talented player. I like him, so I just hope he can rise to the occasion. I hope Solari is getting his mind right, because that's the only thing kind of really matters coming off an injury like that, and now you're going to fill in big shoes.
Right, definitely. So now the question is, do we start him on Wednesday?
I feel like you have to.
I mean, yeah, you already know what's going to happen if he does not start in CDM. You already know who Solari is going to put in, and I'm pretty sure.
No one wants Chucho Lopez, all right? No one wants Chucho Lopez.
Hey, you didn't let me finish my sentence, because 99.9% of the Americanista fan base is going to be like, just play with 10 at that point. But I feel like in this case, it's, you're definitely going to need someone in that CDM spot. You definitely don't want a winger in that spot. So I feel like for Naveda, you're going to want him to play. Yeah, like Brian mentioned, he's going to be rusty, but it's been a while since he's last played. He did play in a friendly, but this time, he's going to definitely need to get the start in this one. If we want to make ourselves a strong impression, and you want someone in that midfield to know that I got you and will do everything to their ability to prevent the attack from getting past that midfield, yes, you're going to need to put Santi Naveda in that, and I'm ready for that.
I agree in the sense that he needs to start, because I don't see any of the option unless you want to fall back to a flat 4-4-2. But even then, I don't know how much coverage that, and you're gonna ask a lot of Richard too.
Exactly, and then who you slide in there, Madrigal maybe.
Yeah, that's our only other CDM option.
Right, so at that point, it just becomes you're just trying to play with luck at that point, and that's something we definitely don't need right now at this stage of the game.
That's what we don't have.
So I kind of agree with all of you. I do think Naveda will start. But obviously, it's up to Solari to see what he does. What's the call on Wednesday night? So that covers that. And also, the surprising news actually is that Renato Ibarra looks to be making great progress. It's at 95% that he is ready. Will he feature in this matchup? Probably not on Wednesday. I can see him more on Saturday, but even then it becomes a little difficult. But it seems like if we do get past this round, Renato Ibarra will be available for Solari. And I think that only it's good news. And I guess, especially for that right wing spot, since we don't have an owner for it just yet. And we know with Renato's capabilities, it can be a little dangerous and pose a different threat for other teams.
Will be interesting. I mean, there's someone that naturally plays on that right hand side. I think could he feature on the bench? That's going to be interesting if he does make the bench for Wednesday.
Right.
Which I would assume so, because we're lacking a little bit of depth here.
Yeah.
And you need depth coming into the year.
of course.
So
Mhm.
that's going to be the main concern. Let me see off the top of my head. I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean, Richard Sanchez looks like he's good to go. I know that there was
Sanchez is good to
some
go.
concerns.
Caceres is good to go. Bruno's good to go. It seems like everyone is good to go besides obviously the obvious that Kino Osuna will not be, and Leo Suarez also will not be ready for this week's match.
Who, by the way, he's been playing. Looks like he might
He's
be
been playing,
back,
yes, but
back
I
into
don't.
rhythm.
I don't think they'll.
Oh, and he's
call
not
him.
registered. He's not registered, so it's
Is-
not like he could even play.
Right. So the only possible player we could see is Renato Ibarra. Hopefully he makes the bench for either game. Like you said, Ivan, that is never a bad thing, especially with this team right now and how pieces we're missing, especially on the right hand side. It's definitely not a bad thing. So prayers to hopefully we get to see him on the bench, maybe get some minutes here. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And Marouane is still out.
And
Confirmed.
Line is out. Line is out too.
Well, we started off on a great topic here now because it looks like we're more than capable of filling the starting 11 that gives us hope and somewhat confidence coming into the match on Wednesday. But how do you think Solari tackles this hurdle, Brian?
Well, I mean, like I said, they had time off. Obviously, the injury is just it's a pain, but like I said, it goes back to what we were talking about, recently with the boring play and the mentality. The only thing you can do right now is the mentality part, and if you don't get that down, then this first game is going to go south because if you're just lacking confidence or lack of direction, then don't look at getting to Azteca to save you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like we were saying, like you can for Naveda, like I was saying, like all he can do is step up and fill the shoes, and that's all he can ask out of his players right now. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be hurdles, and like we said, depth is an issue, but the guys that are there, I mean, they have to be hungry, and that's going to be a manager situation to make sure that they are, and that they have the direction for that match.
Now, here's the thing for me, at least. This might be controversial, but if America plans to even get close to winning the title this season, that's how they're going to have to play, is boring football.
But that's
pragmatic. Pragmatic in the sense that it's very rigged, it's very organized, it's very much in the sense, and I know, AJ, you're probably want to completely just turn off my microphone when I'm saying all this, because I know you hate the fact that we play in such a dull manner. But I think that's how America has to be, because then that way you avoid exactly what you were saying, Brian, with that risk factor or not having kind of that mentality of pushing forward. We saw that against Monterrey in the final, in the CONCACAF Champions League final, right? And the America side that was just outpaced, outclassed, and never really went back to their fundamentals. I think they have to start off being pragmatic in the sense as we hold the ball, we move it. Sure, we're going to be resetting, but it's just a chess game. For 90 minutes, it's going to be a chess game as to, all right, I move my piece here, you move your piece there, and it's just we find that opening, and we got to take our chances. That is the one thing that I need to see from this America side that we've lacked all season, is we need to take our chances. We need to score some goals. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go to Seoul and we're going to have a 4-2 thriller that America is going to come out on top winning, but in a match like this, if you get 2-3 chances and you convert at least 2 of those, and you're walking away with 2 goals and saying Pumas only scores 1 on you, now you're in a favorable position going forward. So again, pragmatic in the sense, yes, but if you have your chances, you need to take them at the same time. Now, don't expect the most exciting game in the world, AJ, but expect Solari to at least try to manage it like that, which I know a lot of people don't like, and they're like, that's not playoff football, But if it gets the job done, Christian, it gets the job done.
No, definitely. And I think people will be more happy to know that if this style gets us the 14th, then they'll forget everything that just happened, right? They'll just be celebrating the title win. But you're right, Ivan. It's true. And I like how you emphasize how we have to be the protagonist in this matchup. If you guys watched any of the Pumas Toluca game, you saw how flustered Toluca was when Pumas just was all over them with the constant high press. They didn't even know what to do, losing balls left and right, giving Pumas endless chances in the first half. Honestly, it could have been a 3-0 at that moment, but like Pumas just didn't capitalize the clearer ones that they had. But still, it just seemed like a very dominant performance from Pumas over Toluca, and America needs to kind of control that and take Pumas element out of the match, because that they're going to be home on Wednesday. That's definitely what they're going to go try to do. They're like, okay, listen, they work their way. Why not apply it here? Why not us? Defend our home and go all for it, because like them, their mindset is, okay, we have to win here because we're going to go away there, and we want to go there with a favorable result, right? So they're going to go for it too. It's not just us that wants the victory. They're going to go for it too. So at that moment, you take your chance, like you said, Ivan, and hopefully we come out on top and leave with a favorable result.
So yeah, I mean that's the reality of it. Now, Brian, I'm a little worried about this high press because Monterrey did that to us in the final, and it caused so many mistakes.
At least we have some tape on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So basically, that was the biggest headache ever watching that game, right? Because it caused so much, disruption, and it's like, why are you guys so out of whack? But like I said, we have to know another thing too about Pumas is they want that upset. They want to make that crowd, give the crowd something to cheer about. You know what I mean? Like, this is not just like, hey, America's coming in, like, we can take it easy. You're gonna have to expect what you saw from Monterrey in the one game, and like I said, going back to mentality and Solari, setting that up for the team mentally. But this team's going to come out hungry. You know what I mean? And so they have to be smart. And like you said, even boring's one thing, like a boring result, but you have to be threatening. And if you can't be threatening, you have to be confident. And that's going to come through when they press. Like, are you going to be confident enough to get out of that and play it safe? You know what I mean? Because eventually you have to be threatening, but and if you're having issues, then you have to be confident with your teammates. You know what I mean? So that's just another aspect about this, this game. It's a playoff and rivalry. So you just hope that they get through that from what happened in the past.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it might be a blessing in disguise if Naveda does end up being a starter, because he's a kid that understands this rivalry. He's coming from the youth academy, and if it's one thing that kid always shown is confidence.
It's
on
hard,
the pitch.
Heart and confidence.
So I think that they will get pressed, and then he is gonna have to tuck in the middle sometimes with those center backs. But I can see him trying to play it out more than a Pedro Aquino, who may be a little bit more reluctant to maybe pass it off to the wings or maybe back to Ochoa. Right. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Solari counters the tactics that Pumas have put in front of us. So with that said, Christian, what are you going with the starting 11 for Wednesday?
Yeah, so obviously with this Wednesday, it seems like we're trying to put out the best 11 that we could possibly put out, right? So I'm gonna go with Ochoa in net, Jorge Sanchez, Bruno Valdez, Sebas Caceres, and Luis Fuentes as the back line. In the midfield, Richard Sanchez, Alvaro Fidalgo, Santi Naveda. The front three will be Chava Reyes on one side, Roger Martinez on the other side, and Henry Martin up top.
Interesting. You're not putting in Viñas.
No, I don't think so. I will put in Viñas now. I would like to see Viñas, but I just don't think so. I will put Viñas in. What
would you change out of this, Brian, if you had to?
To be honest, I think that actually sounds good. To be, my only thing is, and who the guy that I'm kind of been watching, because he's been a disappointment to me, is Roger. And it's like, if he's not linking up, then that's going to be my number one move in the second half, because he's just, look, we all know what he can do when he's got the balance and dribble, and he's got a heck of a shot. But when he's not making the team more dangerous, it's just like he's keep holding them back. So I think I like that lineup, but that's my first player that I'm going to be looking at changing if it's not going good.
And well, he's not gonna like it whenever you do substitute him, as we saw the
play better then.
Yeah, right. Look, interesting. I mean, I do like it. It's honestly truly the best that we have at our disposal. And that's what worries me. This is not a championship winning side. If you were to tell me what we originally have to then this, you're probably like, yeah, no. But again, if we can get past the hurdles on Wednesday, get the result, close it out on Saturday, then I think if you're able to secure the ticket to the semifinal, you're hoping that a couple players come back from injury and maybe this team looks a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean,
will be interesting though because you don't have Cordoba here, so he could definitely be an impact sub, which I think you're gonna need him to be, right?
yeah.
Really need him to try to be more of that creative side, and hopefully with tired legs, he can shine a little bit more.
Of course.
Will be
I
interesting.
agree.
Other than Cordoba, though, who else can be that shining super sub? Benedetti?
I mean, you have to look at the options, and yeah, it's either Cordoba, Benedetti. God forbid I say
Going.
Chucho Lopez. But I don't know who would you who would your super sub be, AJ?
Say it. He's gonna say it.
I'm not. I really am not. For my guy, it would honestly. Campos. I mean, I wish, but like we ain't putting in youngsters at a time like this, especially when you're looking at that bench. Like we just do not have that depth. Like you look at that bench, it's not looking like your Diaz or Reyes, so they're like they actually have a good like second starting 11 all on that bench. And for the options that we have here, there really isn't much. I mean, we had the players who are coming back from injury. Maybe it'll be easier for me to figure out who my super sub would be. But if it's gotta be that super sub, I feel like I'm gonna have to go with Cordova on this one. Yes, I know he's a player that he needs to be having a good month for him to be doing something. When he's having a bad month, he's just isn't so great. But he's gonna be that player. If he's gonna definitely be that impact sub. If you're playing against tired legs, he could definitely be doing something on that pitch. Create a play, get himself involved play. Who knows? Maybe take a good shot. There has been instances where he has subbed in. He does happen to get a shot or two off, but just at a moment like this, where it's a Clásico Capitalino, and you're in the quarterfinals, that has to be clicking in mind. We get a good result here, we go back home with a favorable result, and then just finish the job there. But the thing you need to realize, it's all or nothing at this point because you can be going for that 14 title. Something we have not won since 2018. So for Corda, I feel like he's gonna have to step up in this time around. He's gonna have to do something. Yeah, it is in the Mexico naturally. I know he loves that place. He's starting to become like a certain someone that only plays on what's on the national team level. But please, Corda's gotta be that guy to step up now. He's been getting a lot of criticism. I feel like now is the time for him to turn things around, do a complete 180, and show everyone who is the player that we all thought for him to be, and we will hope for that he will grow up to be that player.
When AJ says everyone, he's just talking about me. I mean,
it's for you. So
no, he's gotten some heat. He's gotten some heat.
I mean, rightfully so, but we'll see. Chris saying super sub Renato, if we're being honest. I mean, even if he makes the bench.
Yeah.
Someone who I haven't heard mentioned and is not on the lineup, but I think could be a really good super sub in a sense, is Miguel Ayun. I think he could bring a little extra into.
If he decides to play, yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What I mean? If he decides to play, yeah, he could be a super sub.
If he decides to connect his crosses and now send it outside the stadium or towards the stands, then I mean, yeah, he could do something.
Wow, they are roasting Miguel Ayun on here. I didn't even know that he was that poorly received on this podcast. But look, I think Ayun adds a little bit of extra, experience, and if you need to manage a game, I see him coming on.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. And he's had comments that he wants to go back to the national team. It's a stretch, so he needs to play well when he does play.
Yeah,
I mean, hey,
have that.
If he does, I mean, he could replace two of those fullbacks that we have on the national team currently, which I'm pretty sure everyone would love to get rid of. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough.
We'll see. But no, yeah, as far as super subs go, I think those are some good options. Again, I think like Brian just put it, anyone and everyone who plays in this match has to come out here with the determination of wanting to do the right thing and excel at their job, because you don't want to be remembered as the team that just again did such an amazing run during the regular season only to fall flat on their face during the Liguilla, you know. So and tensions
I'm
are
not
already high
mistaken.
enough in Coapa.
We've been first place ever since Jornada 4, I believe, and we've not let go of first place.
And that's my hope with going into Liguilla, is that they took the foot off the pedal,
right,
and just said, let's get there. We'll have that break, and let's go. And unfortunately, you lose a player, but next up, go for it. So and we get to see, you get to see what happened in the previous game and scout the team. Go,
definitely. And I only said that just to your point, Ivan, that you did all of that, and to fall flat in the first matchup of the Liga is just definitely not a good look. And definitely will start raising alarms for every single one on that team, including Solari. Yeah. So you definitely don't want to go out like this. So I'm confident that the team will respond and they'll put up a fight and hopefully get to the next round. I'm more than confident that they will.
And if it's ugly, who cares? Ugly W's are still W's.
That's all that matters. Whoever's got the most goals at the end of the match, there you go.
I'm still not convinced. Look at his face. He's not convinced.
No, I'm not convinced. I'm already setting myself up for heartbreak. But
hey,
that is because we've had a terrible, terrible month and a half of results. Actually, it's been a bad 2021 for us, Brian.
Yeah. Well,
in important results.
Yes, I agree.
But it happens.
But hey, undersell, over deliver. So don't go in with too much, and if they show up, then even better.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm over here waiting for them to just completely do a 180 and be like, yeah. And then I want to fall flat on my face for the criticism, but
I mean, what better reflection for the manager than to have, underwhelming few games and then be like, hey, no. Wait till it's time and then, see what happens.
Step it up. Yeah. That's what I want to see. That is exactly what I want to see. So, right, gentlemen, coming into this one, we kind of talked how America has to come into Seoul. We can't let them kind of dominate the game. I mean, obviously, there's going to be that respect, and given that they have home court advantage. But I do want to see an aggressive America side that is constantly on the ball. And whilst we aren't such a high-pressing team, we are a very organized team. So I want to continually see that. I don't want to see our center backs make unnecessary steps and trying to challenge a ball that could easily kind of be anticipated better. And I don't want to see our fullbacks having too crazy of a night when they don't need to. I'm talking specifically to George. Sometimes he gets a little bit too aggressive, and we're scrambling at the back. And so it's not to say that we have the fastest center backs in the world either, at least with Bruno Valdez there. And then you have Luis Fuentes too, who, let's be honest, is not going to be on the fast side of things. So will be interesting. But how else do you see an America side coming into this one, Christian, tactically speaking?
Listen, I just need the America to control that midfield. You control that midfield, and the world is at your hands. It's gonna be difficult though. I do think that Pumas will come out very, very aggressive in the first 15 to 20 minutes, and America's gonna have to take that. I know it's definitely not what people want to hear, but if they can get through that little hurdle, I think for the rest of the match we should be good. We should be smooth sailing, but most of all, don't concede in these first few minutes of the game. We saw what happened in the final against Monterrey. We conceded, and it seemed like we did not know how to respond. And we don't need that. With these players right now, it seems like once you score on them, it seems like it's over, even though we still have a whole other match to be played on Saturday. But you definitely don't want to start off your Liguilla, down 1-0, right? That's something you don't want to do. It's not ideal. So if it takes a while for America to get going, fine. But I just need them to be the more dominant team for at least 80% of the matchup, which I think we can do. It's just getting over that first hurdle that I think Pumas will present.
I agree. I think weathering the storm is important, right? Those first 15 minutes of the match where Pumas is going to try to dominate, try to offset, and you try to be the dominant side, which again won't be easy, but it's not like we don't have the players that are capable of doing it.
Right.
So again, we shall see. But all right, gentlemen, that game is going to be on Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And looking forward to that matchup. After that, America then will have to receive them in the Estadio Azteca on a Saturday. Again, same times, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Again, you guys can catch all of that coverage live over on our Twitter. We'll have you guys covered minute by minute. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys follow Brian, as he is going to be keeping you guys up to date with any and all videos. Hopefully, most of them being America goals.
Yeah. And actually, I'm actually kind of glad it's not the Thanksgiving game, because I know I'd be with my family like, hey, let's watch the game. And they'll be like, no.
No.
Send them to the office.
I know. Well, there'll be a lot of them.
It's the other way around. They'll send you to the office.
They'll send him to the office.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Chivas fans, so I don't think they want to be watching.
Ooh.
So good thing it's the day before, so I can get in my man cave and yell at people.
There you go.
And face swap.
With Brian one day.
And face swap.
And face swap. Just face swap everyone.
Even myself.
There you go. But all right, I will ask for you guys' predictions in just a moment. But beforehand, I want to remind today that this episode is brought to you guys by Foot Cult. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys go check out footcult.com. You guys have just dropped some amazing merchandise within the past week or so. Those hoodies, I'm telling you guys, it is hoodie season, and boy, do those look, I don't know, man, just absolutely top notch. And then, of course, everything else that you guys have been bringing out. Absolutely love it. And so you guys can get 10% off by using the discount code EEP at checkout. Again, discount code EEP at checkout to get 10% off all Foot Cult products. Again, thank you to Foot Cult for sponsoring today's episode. But all right then, gentlemen. So we've talked about what America has to do, what America is needing to do this Wednesday, and a little bit of what they are going to have to anticipate for on Saturday. I want to get you guys' prediction for Wednesday's game. So I will throw it to you first, AJ. What are you going with?
I'm going with a 1-0 away win for America in this one.
1-0 win. All right. Brian?
I'm going to go 2-1 America.
2-1 America. I like it. I'm going to go 2-1 America as well. Christian?
I'm going with AJ 1-0 America.
1-0. All right. So it looks like diagonally speaking here as well, things are going to be aligned here. Either way, whatever the scoreline is, that is favorable for America in all aspects, So should be interesting. Now, coming into Saturday, these are always difficult and tricky to predict and to talk about because we don't know exactly what happens in the first leg. But anticipating, what do you guys want America to do at home? What is going to be the most important thing that they need to do, tactically speaking, or in any aspect, really, in order to secure a spot into the semifinal?
You get the little controller and you click on the right directional and go all out attack. That's what we do on Saturday night.
That is not even close to happening on Saturday. I hope you know that.
But that's what you need to do on Saturday night.
Hey, look, Ivan. This man last time said it was going to be, 4-1 America against Pachuca. And it actually happened. Yeah. We scored 4 goals. Can you believe it? Under Solari as well. We don't score more than 2. And it happened. But, yeah, no. I would like that to happen. We just go all out attack and we just get goals raining left and right. Humiliate them like we did. Humiliate Pumas like we did a couple years back.
I mean, I don't know if we'll humiliate them like that, but I do think that we will be overly aggressive with them. So I expect Saturday's match to be way better in terms of, I guess, aesthetics for all these fans that want to see an aggressive America. I think Saturday will be your game. So don't even tune into Wednesday.
Okay, I mean, all out attack, sure, of course. It's never gonna happen, but okay. Brian, what do you need to see on Saturday?
Well, depending on what it is, like you said, it's just hard to predict. Smart. Playing smart's number one, but the other thing too is and we saw this with the national team, which really bugged me, was players acting entitled, like not moving enough and not hungry enough to get the ball. You know what I mean? They have to do that. They have to be consistent with that. They have to pretty much act whatever the score is they're going into the game. You have to act like you're losing, and do so smart. But like you guys are saying, I want to see threatening football. I want to see Pumas on their heels. So especially at home. So you got to be smart, but I want to see players moving, and this is do or die, which it is. So. That's all I got to say for the second game.
Okay, AJ.
Look, don't be sleeping. It's a clásico. People are going to be looking into this game because it has that clásico feel. Play like you mean it. It's a Liguilla match. It's the second game. Really, at this point, like Brian said, it's do or die at this point. You want to move on to the next round? You're going to need to win this match. You don't want to? Okay, then take a loss and then pack your bags and go home and then have all the fans criticize you. You don't want that. So in this case, you got to play with everything that you have in this game. Yes, if we decide to play defensive, yeah, okay, but want to see some movement at least. Don't look like practice dummies right out there and just let Pumas players pass you left and right. And then when a goal happens, you're wondering, okay, let's actually try. I don't really want that kind of scare, especially if the aggregate happens to be tied, because at this point now it makes like we definitely need to score a goal. And when that pressure piles up right onto us, example against Monterrey, you know how it happened. We look so sloppy that I feel like at any moment in time, that other team could be scoring maybe 1, 2, 3, even worse, even more than that. So America, give your all in at home. It's your stadium, it's your fortress. Protect it with everything that you got and secure the one that you need to get in order to move into the next round.
I agree with you, AJ. I feel like you got to make that be your fortress and take
Is
your
there
chances.
fans going to be on Saturday?
Good question.
Yeah,
there were no
why
fans
wouldn't they?
for Azul and Monterrey. So
Yeah, wait. Why wasn't there fans yesterday? I didn't really understand that. Or did I miss something?
Probably the semáforo must have gone to a different color.
Protocols? Question mark?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw the
Well, it
highlights
shows
of
our
the-
professionalism and how well we did our research.
Well, it does,
coming
yeah.
into
But I
this.
mean, I really don't keep up. I don't know why there weren't fans yesterday. It was a little bit weird. Can someone in the comments tell us what the hell's going on?
They're
Please. Clearly, none of us know why there was no fans yesterday at the Azteca.
No. We have Mary Jane saying here, wasn't it because of the grito? It's a good question. Look, we did a terrible job, and I'll admit to that. But either way, fans or no fans, your home's your home. Take advantage of it. And like AJ mentioned,
it's better with the fans, no?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Get the TV screens out and let the memes begin on Twitter.
Oh, God,
Can't wait for that.
No, I'm tired of that. But I agree with what everyone's been saying here in regards to what America needs to do on Saturday. Go out there, give it your all, and finally lift that curse of not being able to get past this hurdle because of the damn repechaje. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Saturday is going to be judgment day for this squad, for Solari as well, because a lot of criticism will fall on this man, as it did against Pachuca, if you're unable to walk away with the result. So again, we'll have to let it happen. Yeah, it looks like again Freddie Duran saying the P chat.
So there is no fan Saturday?
I don't know.
Or at least there was for that game, I guess.
Maybe for that game, it was only that.
Good Lord.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, look, everyone will leave it up to that day. We'll all be surprised whether there is or not, and we'll all be in the same boat.
True. Yeah.
But either way, interesting. We'll see what happens. Gentlemen, prediction. I know it's hard, but prediction for that game. Piggybacking off of what you just said, that will happen Wednesday. What are you going with Saturday? I'll throw it to you first, Christian.
2-1 America.
2-1 America. All right. I'm going 1-0 America.
We're just going to flip the script here.
Brian?
I said 2-1 in the first. I think 1-1 the second one.
Second one, okay.
Brutal.
AJ?
Going 1-0. We ain't score. I don't know if we're scoring too. I really don't know. I'll go 1-0.
Damn.
All right, me and AJ are on the same page, at least on that one.
We see more
Clean
we see
sheet.
more optimistic away than we do home.
Yeah, which is weird, right?
What's going on there?
We're adventurous away.
I
We're
can see
very
that.
adventurous.
Just know that we are still undefeated at home, technically.
True, and you got to keep it that way.
Just
Gotta
saying.
keep it that way.
Just saying.
Well, look, eventually we'll see what happens. Look, we'll be back next week, either in good spirit or in bad spirit, and we'll see how well Thanksgiving dinner is after Wednesday, seeing as how America plays the night before. And will they give us something to be thankful about, or will we be again looking at us?
Or will I be opening a wine before I even get to the dinner?
To the turkey? Yeah. Who knows? It might be the latter.
Yeah.
Maybe they give us too good of a reason that you want to celebrate with some wine.
I prefer that one.
Yeah, I think we all would.
And I get to be, with my Chivas family.
Yeah. But you gotta take a picture of you and your Thanksgiving dinner in your America jersey.
I know. I'll have gravy on my head.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, look, we're pretty much wrapped up unless any of you guys have anything else to add on.
No, going back to just like the first game in Cordoba, I thought coming off the bench against Canada, not just him, but I thought he played well. I thought he kept the rhythm well and he was moving. Like that's the one thing we were seeing bad with Mexico. And there are some other players that helped that second half. So that's what I actually think could happen if he comes off the bench. I think he could shift the dynamic of that. So I'm hoping that's the case because I like him, and he's had some heat with some other players, but when he plays, when he shows up, he shows up. So I just hope he does.
Mm-hmm. All I gotta say is, statistically speaking, this is the best America we had under Solari, but it seems like it's the most depressing fan base that we've had in a while, and the most discouraged and non-excited fan base that we've had in a while entering the Liguilla.
Well,
rest assured, this team will prevail. This team will make us all happy once again, especially you, Ivan. And this team will lift the 14th. Wednesday and Saturday is just the first test. Might not be as smooth as we want it to, but it'll get better. It's the first test. Well, we will win. And we will be champions in December. Just saying.
All I ask is for us not to be the comeback kid story again. That is all I ask. That's all I ask. Please. Christian, if we walk away with Seoul with the result of a win and we don't have to play the comeback kids, I will be more optimistic with what you're saying right now. But I swear to you, if we have to do it again, I'm not even watching the game on Saturday, and I'm covering it.
What's an America game without a scare? That's how it is. It's always been. Have you not seen the Piojo Herrera era? Have you not seen that how it's been for us? We've done it numerous times.
No, I can't. I just know it's not going to work for us again. We can't be the comeback kid story again. Can't be. You have to go out there, be assertive, be dominant, because a first place team does not need to play the comeback kid story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, that is the reality of it.
Wednesday night, the road starts, right? And then when we left the 14th in December, I'm gonna say I told you so. Right? That's it.
We're gonna clip this part if that is the case. All right. Before we wrap it up here, gentlemen, one last quick question before we wrap it up. What is going to be at your guys' dinner table for Thanksgiving? AJ?
Food.
I mean, we got some pernil, empanadas, arroz.
Okay.
Probably some potato salad, maybe some dessert there,
sweet potato. Gotta have the sweet potatoes.
All right. Okay. All right.
Sweet potatoes,
I like it.
Turkey, rice, you name it, everything, baby.
I like it. Christian, what's on the other side of New York for you?
I kind of just mentioned everything pretty much AJ just said.
You have empanadas
I don't know.
well?
Maybe we'll dabble with some pozole there. Maybe.
Oh, dude, yes.
I don't know. I don't know exactly how the menu's gonna be, but I hope there is pozole because who doesn't like a nice pozole, right? So yeah, just hoping for a nice meal for everyone here. Spending time with some family, of course, and just hope for a great day.
All right, Brian, what's on your dinner table?
We'll probably have a mix, like turkey, mashed potato stuffing, and then tamales, and maybe something else like pozole too. Maybe we'll have to see. Somebody throw something, in a curveball. I want something to put, hot sauce on. So, I'll figure something.
No, I like it. I love it. Mine's very generic in the sense that we as Mexicans, it's funny because we always do it every year. We just have the turkey. Obviously, we got your mashed potatoes. My mom makes a sopa, super good. And yeah, it's just gonna be turkey. So I already know I'm gonna have turkey. So, but we don't.
Are we all having turkey? I think we're all having turkey here, no?
Unless there's a shortage that I don't know.
Oh God,
because in this day and age, there's a shortage for everything.
I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna go to the store, and that guy who attended us over there in San Antonio is gonna.
Oh, you'll never get the turkey.
There's a shortage, man. There's a shortage.
Maybe
we have
duck.
tenders though. We have tenders.
We have tenders.
Let's
Turkey
go.
tenders. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much. Let's see what the future lies and entails for our America, and we'll be back next week to recap it all and see where we go from there on. Again, Brian, thank you so much for stopping by and giving us your expertise. And hopefully the sports gods are finally going to shed a little bit of light in our favor. Again,
well, yeah, I'm like overdue for like a good result. Like I've been getting my what kicked.
Yeah,
At least America could do well.
Yeah,
exactly. Like the Browns stink, and then like maybe Mexico will beat the rivals. Nope, didn't even come close to that. So like America, you're my last hope for something. And I lost the bet on Saturday. That was really dumb.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. Oh
yeah. Come on, America.
Yeah, come on, America. Come on. That's all we ask. Well, gentlemen, thank you again. AP Jr. said he's not going to be celebrating Thanksgiving this year, but you know what, man? Happy Thanksgiving anyways. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys out here listening, to everyone who joined us. We wish you guys and your family nothing but the best. Enjoy your guys' meal, provecho. And again, we'll be back next week to talk things all Águilas de la América. Alrighty then, with that said, you guys have a wonderful time. Please be safe out there. And as always, Arriba la América. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was another production of the Eagle Eye Podcast, the #1 source for all things Club America in English. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Eagle Eye Podcast and get all the latest news and coverage. And subscribe to our podcast wherever it is you may listen.